Okay, folks, it's that time again. We are back from the Dream Car Championship in here for episode 65 in the challenge series. And I kind of chuckle a bit entering the commentary booth and seeing the commentary notes left behind for me by Nitori and Thrasher, which are now kept on a tablet finally instead of just an old book or like a little notepad type of thing. I can't help but notice that the top line just says collisions, written italicized and double underlined. That's not a great sign. And I witnessed a couple of them myself, but not all of them apparently. So yeah, I guess let's head into race one and find out the truth behind these collisions. And we are green from the first round here in the episode. And we head to Deep Forest for a 720 race. Only 4 laps, so in reality this probably won't even be that long of a round. So I just realized my IRL bathroom door is still open. There's the POV car is the Porsche Carrera driven by Stephanie Kaiser. She's struggling to make her way into simply 19th place. Eric putting up a fight even for not running last, but eventually she is clear of the 458 and of Taniguchi as well. Oh. I think we just saw her, Kaiser get walled a little bit by the NSX driver here, Katsuragi. Bit of gas there. We do have a debuting car in this race. So apparently Riho is continuing this ongoing trend of these sort of abnormal cars. First it's the Toyota Tundra swap with the Super GT engine. Then it's the Lancia Delta with an engine from a GTR. Now she's driving an Indy Mazda Miata with the Corvette engine in it. Specifically it's an LT1. Interesting to me is that the car actually only has about 688 performance points, but it's still more than able to keep up pace with the 720 cars, which I think just kind of speaks to how flawed this game's performance point system really is. The car may very well be about 720 performance points, or, aggregately equal to them. The game will never let you know that because the game is just dumb. Yeah, I think Riho just kind of saw that a lot of drivers and fans alike seem to enjoy the idea as my dad just loses all control and exits there. A lot of people seem to like the Tundra, and a lot of people were equally impressed by her ability to drive the Delta in the Dream Car Championship to some effectiveness. And so I think Futaba's just committed to the bit now, and she's just going to keep driving all of these gimmicky, abnormal vehicles that have no reason to work as well as they do. Gotta love that fake engine decal there over the rear wing, as Dante Wright is. Well, he's not turning right all too well at the moment there. He almost went off the whole circuit. Stephanie is looking to take the lead from Narashi. They're trying to say there. There's no E in her name. Like the Carrera GT should have the straight line advantage, even with that 787B engine swapped RX-7. And Stephanie Kaiser is the new race leader. Riho from Taba is moving into P3. Dante attempts to counteract this, but instead just finds himself right into the back of Natsuki, damaging both cars. So, clearly it's been a very successful debut for the MX-5 here, as Riho moves into P2 behind Stephanie. Like, that's an interesting line, never seen that before. I think she might have gotten a little bit of oversteer on entry. It is a Porsche at the end of the day, it kind of becomes of a territory to some extent. Rio's not losing too much ground already. She's still definitely a presence in Stephanie's rear view. And this thing has absolutely lethal acceleration. If her brakes are any more effective, Riho probably could take the lead here, but she has to brake earlier than Stephanie does. And on the back, it seems as though my dad will hang on to third over Terrence Blackpool. The acceleration from the MX-5 is not enough. Stephanie Kaiser will head through the last high-speed turn here at Deep Forest, and she will take the checkered flag. But certainly can't sleep on Riho's debut here, or at least this car's debut. The first appearance of this model, and it runs P2 from about 6th on the grid, and indeed my dad remains on the podium over Terrence. Another driver who came up through the field a pretty good bit was Francesca Fidanzi, who started in, I think, bottom 5, and places 8th. Big disappointment for Natsuki, who, through no real fault of her own, goes from probably almost a guaranteed podium to getting rear-ended by Dante Wright, and instead placing 18th. So, I guess there's the first of our collisions, but I can't imagine that that alone was worth italicizing and double underlining. Let us head into round 2, and see if we can uncover the mystery of the italicized notes. And the second race of the episode is away. And here's quite a change in pace. Race 2 takes us to the Nürburgring 24-hour layout here in the 680 class cars. This is the first time that, oh my god, what the fuck is going on the outside there? I actually borrowed his RX-8, looking more like an RX-3 with all the damage it just took there. Falcon's got damage, Thrasher has damage, Kira has damage, what? Oh, she's being passed by Garrison, so the game has confused itself. Leon Bohr with Eric Laschowski in his Ferrari GTO. He's by no means a stranger to the Nordschleife in the original run of the Challenge Series, and it wasn't a syndicated thing, as it is now. He's currently getting no real estate from Saki in her M4 up there. My dad's doing a bit of off-roading up ahead. Kind of makes sense, honestly. I don't even get to imagine what driving either of these two vehicles on this track is like. The Super Bee or the Tundra. I think I'd rather have the Tundra because at least this is four-wheel drive. But either one seems like it would just be a pain in the ass. That said, Riho is attempting to wheel the thing ahead of Kitano, and I think she's about to succeed. Yeah, she will overtake Taro as we enter the Nordschleife here for the first and probably only time, because it's only going to be a one-lap event. Eric already in the top 10, Barbara exiting the racetrack and smacking into Dedrick Schwartz, giving him a boatload of damage to his car. Not her smartest move. In the background, Aya Tsubaki as well as Dom DePrisco are struggling to stay on the racetrack. The Nordschleife is not an easy circuit. I don't know if anybody's somehow not aware of that, but it is not easy. Eric will take McIntosh around the outside. I don't know any of the corner names, but most people probably do know what that corner is called. I'm just an idiot. Eric outdrags two cars, might get a third here. Not a whole lot of space between him and the grass, but he manages to take it away anyway. Kaiser down the inside of Shaughnessy, not the most room allowed, but she makes her way to P2. Riho wanted to follow through, but doesn't have the acceleration to stay with them. Erica's going to have to make another cavalier send. Another tight squeeze for the Ferrari, but he makes his way through. Scott Webber is currently some good ways into the distance in his heavily tuned 350Z. He's really got about 2 seconds in hand. Eric has now caught Stephanie Kaiser for second place. I think he's probably got the pace to catch up to Scott if he can get ahead of the Porsche. But this is home turf for Kaiser. I imagine she's going to be quite a challenge to make a move on. It should be a challenge to pass just about anywhere, but especially here. Now, she left way too many lanes open for Eric to enter, and a bit of contact, but the overtake is completed. Schwartz is toughing out that damage like he doesn't even have it. Just as quickly, Eric has now caught up to Scott Webber as well. I think Webber just let Eric go. I'm not really sure what the idea behind that is. Does he not know this part of the track too well? He's just trying to follow somebody through it, or what the... Not knowing the track? Oh my god, Stephanie. Even with the damage, Dedrick Schwartz has overtaken Riho and is looking to get ahead of Amy as well. You wouldn't even think that car was damaged right now, as Stephanie, despite her excursion, will make her way into second ahead of the 380 RS. Man, my body is trying to do all of the things right now. Coughing, burping, now a sneeze for good measure. We head through the carousel, Stephanie attacking it on entry, but Eric has the more composed exit marginally. This has been a bit of a give and take here on the second half in the Nordschleife. Webber's right on Stephanie's bumper, and the pressure that he is applying is probably the only reason that she's not able to try and push after Eric. Shaughnessy and the rest of the field aren't actually all that far away either. Oh, that's an understeer from Eric. He just about saves the car, but now they're 3 wide in this really not wide part of the track. Webber manages to force his way by, but Eric gets back to the inside and might reclaim the lead. He's not going to be clear of Scott Webber, though. He sort of forces Eric a bit wider still. He can't take the mini carousel and is getting turned by Stephanie right into the wall. Oh my word. Porsche drivers, am I right? Game. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, another game has decided to grace us with the replay footage. So yeah, Eric is not allowed to take the inside lane here, and Stephanie just kind of bounces up the track. And then we have that. It's the smallest of movements over to the right of the track, but it's enough to send Eric into the wall. And with a bunch of suspension damage, that's him DNFing from the race with only a handful of turns to go. In a race that he probably could have just straight up won. And one small fit of understeer, and that was enough to send him basically, in a sense, from first to last. And now it is a drag race down towards the finish line. A drag race which Stephanie currently looks to be winning. Oh yeah, that's not even a contest. See you later, Scott. The damaged Schwartz trying to take a spot on the podium in spite of his vehicle's disability. Has to out-drag Amy for it. And that hasn't worked. So we head through the last turn here at the Nürburgring. Nürburgring? What the fuck is that? The Nordschleife. And Stephanie Kaiser is going to get a second consecutive win, albeit this time by maybe not so sportsmanlike conduct. Scott Webber takes second. And it's a drag race out the line, but Shaughnessy will grab the final podium position by a matter of inches. And Riho manages to actually get that truck around a P5 by the end of it. So Stephanie may have won the race, but I think I'm most impressed with Dedrick and Riho. Dedrick for toughing it out with damage. He got very early on in the race from Barbara, who herself managed to salvage P6 from the race. And Riho for managing to successfully wheel a truck around the Nordschleife and making good time while she was at it. Kind of embarrassing her teammates down here, who ended up in the mid-pack. 11th and 13th for them, respectively. Thrasher, not his best showing. I think DePrisco and Hayashi Bara had a bunch of damage. DePrisco, I think, gave himself damage throughout the race. And then we have Eric's DNF. Ugh. There's going to be some begrudging repair bills to be paid at the end of this one, that's for sure. And we are green from round 3 in the episode. Now it is time for somewhere 640 class racing, as the camera finally decides to get with the damn program. And it is Interlagos playing host to another routine 4-lapper here as Macintosh, the POV driver, struggles to keep his Super B under wraps heading through turn 3. Turn 3 absolutely one of those turns that tests the overall stability of your car more than most. Because like right at that speed where you're going fast enough to lose control, but not going fast enough to have the downforce carry you through the turn, which Tyler's car would have. But doesn't help at medium to high speeds from the... Okay, Reiko. I don't really know if that one was on the cards. He just pushes right the fuck through him. Macintosh returns the favor, honestly kind of less aggressively in a way. There's less contact. A bit of grass on the tires. The car reacts in accordance, but still a double overtake through the basically last turn. Easily outdrags that Integra. And others, including his teammates there. Even more oversteer from the Super B there. Stephanie Kaiser was the pole sitter as she looks to be on her way to try and claim a 3rd consecutive race victory. Clearly she didn't let the fact that she came last in points in the Dream Car Championship hold her back too much. Mopar versus Mopar action here. Tyler attempting to get around Kawashiro. Down the inside, and that's much more textbook than the last time he made an overtake through there. Ahead of Satoshi. About gets ahead of Fidanzi and Molly Rivers in one swoop. And I think just got blocked a little bit by Trevor Graham. Doesn't really surprise me. These two have had a pretty long and ugly history between the two. I'm honestly surprised that Macintosh isn't going straight for the kill. Honestly, looking like he should have, because he gets absolutely ransacked by Trevor Graham on exit. That's a terrifying sight. Just gets spun around and you are immediately faced with a lot of traffic. That's a pretty hard hit. Everybody manages to avoid him until he can sort of find a moment to turn around. That's after impact. I'm trying to figure out his speed as he hits the barriers. Like about just shy of 100 miles an hour. And then just directly into wall. When we're POV is, we'll see what Francesca sees as she heads out of turn 3 behind these two. Quite an ugly impact there. She probably could have passed Trevor Graham if she was more on the ball with it, but I think she was a little bit caught off guard by the absolute destruction that she had just bared witness to. Somehow the Super B is still running. I don't know how. Probably just off of sheer force of will and anger is the only thing keeping this car on the racetrack. Local Yee boy literally too angry to DNF. And I can only imagine what comes next. But something tells me I'm about to, you and I, there's some oversteer from the suspension damage he has obtained from that collision. Something tells me we're all about to find out exactly why Thrasher and Nutri underlined, or double underlined in italicized collisions on the notes, commentary notes. I think that was Macintosh giving Joseph Miller a bit of a warning. Out of my way before I move you out of it. Meanwhile, in a much more clean racing context, it's like Fidanzi's sizing up a move on the S15. Gets about half a bumper alongside, which is enough. And gets sort of an advantage heading through 2, and there's the overtake. I don't think what we're about to see in the next minute or so is going to be as clean from the Super B, and I don't want to say I agree with what I think is about to happen, but I kind of get it, and it certainly will be a surprise if what I expect to be true becomes true. Good English. Good comprehension. Oh yeah. Not even an attempt. However, that really didn't do a whole lot. Trevor Graham only losing 1 place. Tyler losing like 3. Still going. Still thinks he has enough time either to get another hit in, or maybe he's going to try and actually finish the race now. Try and salvage whatever positions he can take before the checkered flag flies. There's a battle for the win up ahead, but oh my sweet Jesus Lord! Well, I think he should be parked for this race and maybe the rest of the season for that. That's a new level right there. We've seen plenty of people just intentionally wreck. He just went all the way across the track to make this hit. And just smack! Oh, Credit where it's due, that was a well-timed strike, but also, like, holy shit, have fun with the suspension, Tyler. I don't care how close friends we are, I can't ignore that. And that was a red flag, which sort of eliminated any drag race to the line we might have had, which means that Stephanie Kaiser is going to grab a 3rd consecutive win here at Interlagos. She's won in 720, 680, and now 640. All in 1 week. Hell, 3 days in a row. Francesca Fidanzi and Satoshi Rollins join her on the podium. What's even more interesting is even if I didn't say something, I think Neytiri would be, because she just watched this with her own 2 eyes. What does our fellow admin see? This is probably why it's double underlined. Because she watched this. Yeah, I would say that's why. And race 4, penultimate round, is Green here from Road Atlanta. A track that I kind of keep forgetting is in the game, to be honest. But, you're on board with the Ever Sideways, Amber Ashhart and her Renault 5 for the 600 class race. Maybe a bit on the longer side, since it is a 4-lap race, as per usual, despite this being sort of a longer circuit than this category usually runs. As is typical, Amber's all over the racetrack. Mostly just trying to keep the car under her, but obviously she wouldn't really have it any other way, I don't think. As the only thing really of note here is Thrasher has moved one of his vehicles around. He has put his F-150 Raptor in the 600 category, taking some horsepower out of it. Namely, I think he removed the supercharger, and that was basically all he did. End of lap 1, and our POV driver is already looking at taking P10 from AJ. I think she will succeed and get some drifting in through the final turn as she does so. This is about the only race Stephanie cannot win because she does not have a car in this category. But if she does attend the roulette round tomorrow, she could probably win that in her 760 car with any luck, because Ashhart gets a little bit of plays a little bit of dodgems with my dad there out of, well, I guess into like turn 4 or something. It's like 5 or 6. I don't even know turn numbers here. Can't even begin to know. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like I do. That was some audio. What's up? Two overtakes, so we're not even a third of the way down the straightaway. Might get Diego into the chicane hairpin hybrid, and yeah, she does. Reiko started second in this race, but took the lead pretty quickly and is not wavering, and she's got probably a 1.5 2-second lead over Barazaki. Scott Weber is looking for yet another podium in this week's racing, and you'll have to overtake Barazaki to do so, while also being mindful of the Renault 5 that's, well, about to overtake him. That has overtaken him at Belfast, and she'll get Ibarazaki for her troubles, which Scott Weber attempts to follow her through ahead of the Suzuki, and he will. I keep telling him he needs to update this livery a bit. There's something. This is just so... It looks like he put this together in 3 minutes. There's like no sort of... It's like he just splattered sponsor decals wherever he felt like it. It just doesn't look pretty to me. Like, you're gonna plaster logos everywhere, have a livery design, and if you're not gonna have a livery design, make the logos small and uniform. It just isn't pleasant to look at that, this 240Z. This Ashard is gonna try for the lead on Reiko. Bit of blocking administered by the 432Z. Ashard takes the lead. Reiko doesn't like that and sends it to her inside, but is unable to try and reclaim the lead. So Ashard is free to attempt to drive away. Instead, she's gonna drive sideways out of the last turn once more, and then brake for turn 1. Probably get sideways again. Oh yeah. You know it. I mean, she takes literally every corner sideways. It's just nature to her. She must be sliding her. It doesn't feel right. That corner probably didn't feel right even, because she didn't take it sideways. There we go. That was a bit too sideways, I would argue. And that's given the Nissan Fairladies a chance to catch up to her. Holy send! Reiko manages to get her car to the inside and overtake there. From this far back when we hit the brakes. And she somehow arrives at her door, and Ashard has to make evasive actions to not get cleaned out in the process. Scott Weber is there as well in case these two really fuck around and find out. Looks like Ashard has the clear advantage going down this back straightaway. She'll get back ahead of the Z. Can she stay there at the braking zone? No, Mishima sends it again. Ashard not ready. Takes the corner like she should be able to and nearly spins for her troubles, but still, as she's very good at doing, recovers the vehicle and will slide through the last turn and take the victory anyway, despite Reiko's aggression. Fellow fair lady, Scott Weber, joins her on the podium. Emmy manages only 4th after starting on pole. So, well, I mean, there were collisions, but certainly nothing super dramatic. I'm thinking we probably saw we saw the cause for a double underlining and italicized lettering in the last race. I just get that inclination. But who knows? We have one more race to go. Who knows what'll come of that? I don't think Thrasher's category shift has really played out in his favor as he takes dead last. So on then to the roulette round to cap off episode 65. And the final round of the episode is away. The roulette race comes to us from Suzuka Circuit, and I finally remembered how to speak my native language and only language. And we have some interesting stories to tell here. The first and most prevalent is the appearance of 2 new drivers. We're just gonna pause. We have Oscar Oxbridge, a man who the second that he could even move out of his own house, moved to the big island Oahu in Hawaii, and found a passion for collecting old cars. We have Heinz Richter, one of the many performers on the hallowed Drive to Survive, and now defunct reality show competition, where he played the character of Shadow for 12 seasons straight. He also already has damage to his car, as DeFrisco just clumsily drives into the back of his teammate, but no damage. Where did the new guy get his damage from? So he has to check up to avoid running into Dom. Oh, Aya just throws it in there and smacks into him. So one rookie to the other, just a bit of ugly driving there. Riho's also getting some more track time in the Corvette Miata. Oxbridge in his debut is already having to make Francesco work to make an overtake on a car in a higher category, or lower category, and Eric smells blood in the water and easily scorches past the two of them. Kaiser is attempting to take the lead of the race from Brian Ice. She's going to go for 4 wins and 4 starts here in episode 65. If she can make the pass, she'll be that much closer. Gives Ice a little bit of a surprise, motherfucker, but I guess she makes the overtake. Porsche hired this girl? Oh, God. All I've seen her do these last 2 weeks is run people off the road. We'll see if Dominic DeFrisco has the same struggles that Francesca did getting ahead of the Corvette. Certainly been a debut to forget for Heinz Richter, that's for sure. He may very well come away from his debut with a dead last finish behind multiple cars in the 640 class. Eric with a bit of understeer, about slides right into the door of McIntosh. Patiently waits for 130R to be done, and then he tries for the move on Futaba heading into the chicane, which he will make successfully. A bit of oversteer from Futaba as she tries to, for some reason, fend off the car that's a category above her. looks like we're gonna have basically a 5-lap race here at Suzuka, since each lap is running at just over 2 minutes. As the sunrise makes the track look ever more panoramic than it already does. Well, they certainly have a reason to call it the land of the rising sun. Speaking of rising, I can only imagine the tensions are doing that as Eric catches up to the person that took the person that took him out of the Nordschleife race earlier in the week. Can Eric keep his emotions under control? I think he really wanted to turn her there, but caught himself last minute. And instead just makes the overtake like usual. Gets a bit of oversteer though. He won't be aggressive with the other cars, but he got aggressive on the throttle and he paid for that. Once again, Stephanie runs into the back of him. Eric does do a little bit of a display by maybe running her onto the curb, which is the exact thing that she did to Ice about a couple of laps ago. They battled their way through the S section. Eric certainly got a lot more self-control than me. I'd have already wrecked her. Especially seeing as it's not like Stephanie was in any way apologetic, really, coming off of the Nordschleife race, from what I understand. She was a little bit standoffish, actually, because she thought it was his fault for coming down the track. Yeah, he did come down the track, but that's only because he could never have expected that she would be there. They continue to battle it out, heading up towards the hairpins at this moment. And the exit on the outside of the hairpin far superior. So Stephanie remains the leader. This is a very spread out race. Holy crap. Reclaims the lead from the Porsche. And assuming he doesn't make any more mistakes, he will be able to deny Stephanie her 4th race win of the week. But that's if he can manage to keep the car planted. Stephanie instead is the one that loses control out of the chicane. In her desperation to try and force even a little bit of her car alongside the F12. I think he's about clear now. Now he need only make a clean lap here at Suzuka and he will be home free. I think the second that he just eliminates Stephanie from his mindset, no doubt Eric of all people will be able to run a clean lap of a racetrack. Stephanie is still filling his mirrors though, which he just needs to just not think about it. He'll have the clear advantage heading towards 130R. He's going to have way more horsepower than that 911 does. Through the chicane for one final time here in episode 65, and it's going to be Eric denying Stephanie her 4th consecutive victory, taking the victory at Suzuka, and Brian Ice will remain on the overall podium just ahead of Riho, whose MX-5 has really been a surprise contestant this week between this and Deep Forest. So Brian Ice wins the 720 category. And in his debut, Oscar Oxbridge is going to win the 680 category in his Corvette. The winner of the 640 category being Mika Harris, even finishing ahead of a couple of 680 cars. I think finishing ahead of Suwaka on pace, and finishing ahead of Subacher, Aya, and Richter based on their damage. Still beating 4 others besides them to the line. So that has been it for episode 65. We now know why Collisions was double underlined. And I can only imagine things are... Well, they can't get any uglier than this, I hope to God. Because it's already pretty ugly between Tyler and Trevor. Surprised Nitsuuri didn't administer a suspension, but now that I've seen that, I might retroactively do so. And he didn't do anything in this race, so he's probably earned a light of sentence. Probably because Trevor's not in this race. But I can't just turn a blind eye to that. Maybe I'll have to ask Nitsuuri about it. I don't know, we can't deny entries unless we straight up ban somebody, so that might be part of it. I don't know. Well, I'll look into it, but until then, the episode is over.